So, I decided I was going to do a different supplemental video here. Now, I was having some issues in the first couple of videos here, keeping my mill from wandering around all over my workbench. So I went and bought some lag bolts and bolted her down to the table, which is fine. But as you can see, the table I've been using had a big hole in it from the last guy who was using it for something else. I don't know what. But anyway, it's all down tight now. We haven't actually tried it, but it should work out okay. Now, I got here. I figured while I got everything all stripped down and all that for other purposes, which you'll see in the other video. If you'll notice on this, I'm all kind of setting up here to do a demonstration on how to tram your mill. And like I said, there was an incident that made me think maybe we should do this. So I'm going to set you up somewhere nice and stable and let you get a good look at things. Okay, looks like we got a good view of that gauge right now. Now what you're looking at, I got my dial indicator set up so that I can pretty much see that's right underneath my spindle. Like it's probably an inch off at this point, but that's because of the way the table's set up. And what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to verify that everything is running true to that spindle as far as on plane. It's just a good habit to check it once in a while, and I haven't done it in quite some time. And if you see here, as I move the x-axis, it's got a couple of, up and downs here or there. But for the most part, it's probably within 1/1000th of an inch both sides. And I've checked this out like before I took the film, so it's pretty good. I'm going to set the table to center, and there's a reason for that. I'm not going to set it to the gauge at 0. I'm going to set it so that it's evenly spaced from here to here, from center. That looks pretty close. Once that's set, I'm going to actually have to change the setup quite a bit here in order to show you how to tram it in the cheapest possible way and a fairly accurate way. For the most part, these sorts of mills, you're never going to use anything larger than a fly cutter. You just don't have the power to run anything over a 5/8 of an inch face mill. So, yeah. If you're going to be running a fly cutter, you need this kind of accuracy. If not, you should be able to set up your mag like I have and just move it out to the edges and rotate your spindle the same way. But if you got a fly cutter, you may as well throw in a bit and do it this way, and then it's set for your fly cutter. Okay, so I'm all set up. What you're looking at here is my dial indicator, and it is pretty heavily spring clamped to a piece of high-speed steel blank. It works really good in this fashion. As you can see, I just put it into my fly cutter, tightened down the fly cutter, made sure everything was secure. And now I know exactly. Go on, focus in on there. You want to do it. Now I'm able to tell to within 1/1000th of an inch where that side of my table is in relation to the spindle. The easiest way to do it is to take your wrench, and I have my wrench here, there it is. Take your wrench, turn this over top of one of your rails. I like to do a bunch of different rails at different times. Just for timing purposes, we're going to leave it at the one here for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down so that we bring it up close to top. Tighten it up. Oh, look at that. Like magic. I hit 0 bang on the money. Make sure it's zeroed. It's zeroed. Make sure that we're getting focus on that. Okay, so we're at 0, right? Now here's the one issue with this method. Yeah, you don't have to buy one of them fancy tools, but you do have to be able to look at the backside of your mill in order to A, on my mill, adjust the tram, or B, as you can see, you're on the backside. So I'm going to pick you up, move you over there. Hope nobody gets too sick. And we will take a good look at the worst part of the design for these bench mills. That is the only thing keeping it in tram or in focus apparently. So over here, we've got our gauge set up right here. And as you can see, we're not quite on 0. So we get the wrench, and it's a big boy. Hope that doesn't knock too much of fences out. We undo this bolt. Oh, and it's going to be a stiff one. There we go. I like to leave her good and tight. All right, now we're registering 0. If I went back, I'd be 1,000th out. So what we want is just 1,000th. Oh, kicked it over. Not too much. A difficult task, but if you just keep doing it, think about it a bit. It's a little frustrating, a little tedious. Let's go back and check the other side. And where's it do? So let's check back over here and see how far out it is. And I'll get you set up here. Well, I'll just bring that back over here. Power of editing aside. As you can see, probably 1,000th out. And that's usually pretty good for most things you're doing. You're not going to need to be any more accurate than that. But if you're going to face mill something and get the best possible finish, you're going to want to correct for that. So, let's crack this nut loose. Alright. As you can see, you can take a bit of fiddling, but if you're watching your gauges, it doesn't take much to get it right up tight. Oh, and in case you're wondering, there's your accuracy and marker indicator, so you know. I'm also about 5 3/4 inches off on this side, and I'm coming in about the same on this side on the scale. That way there I'm hitting both sides of my table equally. Because I'm out about that far, and I'll do the math and probably show you in a minute, display it on the screen later on, this is pretty accurate over the length and size of this table. Like, this should give me a damn good finish with a fly cutter. So now that she's all trammed up, I'm gonna rig things up for the other footage, and we'll see you on the other video.